A Japanese pilot wrote a final letter. He was about to die in battle. But somehow, this letter crossed enemy lines and reached an American mother who'd lost her son. The words inside weren't what anyone expected. They didn't contain hate or anger or revenge. Instead, what this pilot wrote in his final moments would bridge two broken hearts across a war-torn ocean and change how we understand the true cost of war forever. But how did a letter from a dying enemy end up in the hands of a grieving mother thousands of miles away? The letter that shouldn't exist. It's 1945. World War II is ending. A Japanese pilot sits in his cockpit. He knows he won't survive the next mission, so he writes a letter, his final words to the world. But here's what makes no sense. This letter was found inside a downed American bomber, the same bomber that killed him. Think about that for a second. A Japanese pilot's last letter inside an American plane. How does that even happen? The American crew who found it were stunned. They were enemy soldiers. They should have thrown it away, burned it, forgotten about it. They didn't. Instead, they did something that would break every rule of war. Something that would connect two mothers across the Pacific Ocean. But first, they had to read what he wrote. And those words changed everything. The words inside. The letter was simple, written in shaky handwriting. The pilot's name was Fujita. He was 23 years old. He wrote to his mother. He told her he was scared. He told her he loved her. He told her he didn't want to die. But here's the part that stopped those American soldiers cold. Fujita wrote about the enemy pilots he'd fought, the Americans, and he didn't call them monsters. He didn't call them evil. He called them brave. He called them sons, just like him. They have mothers too, he wrote. Mothers who wait, mothers who pray, mothers who will cry. One American pilot read those words and broke down. His name was Robert. He was also 23. He also had a mother waiting at home. Robert made a decision right there. A decision that would defy every order he'd ever received. The impossible journey. Robert kept the letter. He hid it in his jacket. When he returned to base, he didn't report it. Keeping enemy documents was forbidden. He could have been court-martialed. He didn't care. Robert had lost his best friend 2 months earlier, shot down over the Pacific. His friend's mother never got to say goodbye. Never got a final letter. So Robert decided to do something crazy. He was going to find Fujita's mother, in Japan, in enemy territory, after the war ended. His commanding officer told him it was impossible. Japan was destroyed, records were burned, cities were rubble. Finding one woman in a country of millions, insane. But Robert had something most people didn't have. He had a translator, a Japanese-American soldier named Ken, who'd help him search. Together, they made a plan. But what they discovered would lead them somewhere they never expected. The American mother. Here's where the story takes a turn. Robert and Ken spent months searching for Fujita's mother. They sent letters to destroyed villages, they checked refugee camps, they interviewed survivors. Nothing. Then one day, Robert received a letter, but it wasn't from Japan. It was from Ohio, from an American woman named Dorothy. Dorothy had heard about Robert's search. Someone told her the story. She wrote to him with a simple request. My son died over Tokyo. I never got his last words. Could I read Fujita's letter? Robert didn't know what to do. This was a mother who'd lost her son to a Japanese pilot, maybe even to Fujita himself. Would reading his letter bring her peace, or would it destroy her?
Robert sent the letter anyway. 3 weeks later, Dorothy wrote back, and her response would change how Robert saw everything. The Bridge Between Hearts. Dorothy's response was 4 pages long. She thanked Robert. She thanked Fujita. She even thanked Fujita's mother, wherever she was. "I understand now," Dorothy wrote. "My son wasn't killed by a monster. He was killed by a boy, a scared boy who loved his mother." She asked Robert to keep searching for Fujita's mother. "She deserves to know her son's words mattered. They saved me." Robert continued the search for 2 more years. He finally found her in 1947. Fujita's mother was living in a small fishing village, still waiting for her son to come home. Robert gave her the letter. Through tears, she read her son's final words. Then Robert gave her something else. Dorothy's letter. 2 mothers, 2 sons, 2 countries that had destroyed each other, connected by 23 words written in a cockpit before death. Fujita's mother kept both letters for the rest of her life. When she died in 1989, they found the letters framed together on her wall. War makes enemies of strangers, but grief makes sisters of mothers. This Japanese pilot's last words became more than a kamikaze pilot's farewell message. Fujita's final message to family crossed enemy lines through pure humanity. Today, World War II pilot last words like these live in war letter museums worldwide. The American mother and Japanese pilot story reminds us that kamikaze pilot last letters weren't just World War II Japanese pilot family letters. They were bridges between broken hearts. Sometimes, the most powerful weapon against hate is simply reading someone's last message to their mother.